Hi, it's a Tiny Gamer, and I know I'm posting on this channel again. Please excuse me, I am at the. I got a cold back in December on Christmas, and now I'm just dealing with the tail end of it. I've not been contagious for a while, it's just the asthma likes to hold on to all that ugh. So, where have I been? I've been poor. So my last cosplay event that I attended was Anime Los Angeles back in 2020. And then, as you all know, the pandemic hits. There was lockdowns. There was all this stuff. I work part-time as a cashier. And yeah, it was bad. After the world opened up, I had some family incidents happen. One of them being my roommate, which, long story short, after getting COVID, he had a very bad pulmonary embolism that almost ended his life. And since then, he's been hospitalized a total of 3 times. And the last time, he was deemed medically unfit to work. So he is currently in the process of trying to get on Social Security disability, which has left me in a very bad situation of having to be the full-time person of working part-time, getting my own Social Security disability, and making sure that the household is still running, rent paid, bills, groceries, gas for his car, making sure nothing gets, too far behind, that sort of stuff. And it's taken a bit of it's taken a big toll on me, not just emotionally, mentally, and physically in some sorts, but also financially. Which is why I hadn't been able to get to a convention in a long while. In that time, I've been trying to build up my social media presence, doing YouTube and Twitch, but mainly on YouTube. And I currently have 325 subscribers on YouTube. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but that was a lot for me. I think I'm at 178 followers on Twitch. And I know that social media is a slow growth process, so I'm not, I'm not stressing about that at all. I've also since built, see, my roommate is still very, very sick, if you can hear him. We ended up both getting whatever is floating around right now. And it's hitting him harder because of his own medical issues. But I've since also I've also since created a VOD channel that has 17 subscribers, where all my past Twitch streams and long form content that I want to have it so that I don't break it up in chunks like I do on my YouTube channel, I post it on my VOD channel. So I have, quite a few videos for y'all to enjoy there. And I've just been you know, that's what I've been doing. Along with, like I said, working, trying to rest, that sort of stuff. So, you're thinking, why are you here now? Because excuse me, this past weekend, it is now Tuesday, January 6th. And so this past Saturday and Sunday, I have had the opportunity to attend SacAnime Winter 2026 for the first time. God, it's been a bit. So convention-wise, the last convention I attended was 6 years ago. SacAnime-wise, it's been 8 years. And the thing is, SacAnime happens the first weekend of January. But then ALA happens either on the same weekend or the weekend shortly afterwards. And with my limited funds back then, I had to choose. Well, there was different factors, but one of the big factors was I had to choose: do I attend SacAnime and then miss ALA, or do I miss SacAnime and attend ALA? And with a good majority of my friends attending ALA, it was a no-brainer. I would go to ALA. So this time around, late last year, one of my friends and I were talking, and we're like, 2025 was horrible for us, our friends, our loved ones, just so many people. If you haven't watched my YouTube channel, my main YouTube channel, is to say, I lost my cat Graham back in January 20th of last year. I lost one of my aunts. My roommate went to the hospital again. I lost one of my best friends. And one of my other good cosplay friends has been in the hospital for over 6 months now because of one thing or another. And it started with COVID. I don't want to get too far into her medical stuff because this friend has not made a public post about what's going on. So I'm going to wait until they do that. And then maybe share more of what's been going on. But yeah, so a lot of the last half of 2025 has been going to visit my friend in the hospital, just back and forth, either every weekend or every other weekend. I would try at least twice a month, with 2 or 3 times a month, I would try to go visit her. With me not driving, it was a lot of my friend's best friend would pick me up, take me with them to go visit. It would be an all-day thing, that sort of stuff. And it's, like I said, it's been a lot. So, my friend's best friend, who's also a good friend of mine, we were talking, and we're like, this year has been so bad. And we should start doing stuff to try and counteract that. And make 2026 a much better year. Try to start making good memories. And so there was a point where this friend and I we're making plans, sorry, to attend we're like, let's go to SacAnime. Let's just scope it out, see how it is since it's been so long, and see if we want to attend or not. Just since, they have also been out of the cosplay sphere for a while and they want to dip their toes back into it too. So it was a mutual thing. And then they're like, if this goes well, there was another convention that we wanted to attend and just, go from there. So, plus, SacAnime went from that small convention center to a much bigger building, and so we wanted to check that out, see how things were, that sort of thing. And with my health getting worse and other issues, we wanted to see, like, how were the ADA accommodations, all that. But when my friend was going to buy the tickets for SacAnime, I said, you know what, I don't have the money to get my ticket. So I said, I'll just go next time. And I was like, I was bummed, but I'm like, it happens. And this friend said, I'll buy your ticket. Basically, Merry Christmas, And I said, are you sure? And they're like, yeah, don't worry about it. They bought me a weekend pass. And here's my little wristband. And because this past weekend was cold, wet, and rainy, I had my cane. And we were just going to ask for information about the ADA accommodations. But we walked to the desk, and the lady that was there saw my cane. And I got an ADA wristband. And it was a good experience. My friend also got an ADA wristband. I guess the lady figured that my friend was helping me, which, I mean, yeah, but you know what I mean. So my friend also got an ADA wristband. And we also managed to score a VIP badge. Look how cute those are. And then the back of the badge, I like that because it says, harassment will not be tolerated. It gives the phone number to the security hotline, which, if you know, you know. I've been harassed at SacAnime before. I did not see that person this time, thank God. But, yeah. It also gives a customer service line. And just, it was just so much better experience all around. And we got to check out the vendors hall, which is now huge. So, like, the whole bottom area now is vendors hall and artist alley. And then you go upstairs, and of course there's spaces to sit down. But then there's also the area for the autographs, for the guests, voice actors, all that. And then you go down a hall, and there's like the panel rooms, tournament areas, that sort of stuff. And so it's so much better. There was so much to do. We mainly met up with friends, just looked around, just saw what was what. And there were a few complaints, but I understand. And I understand it's crowd stuff, and because of incidents at other conventions at the past, why they do this, but it still sucks. So, this convention has a Starbucks connected to the inside the first floor. Okay, so there was a gate that cut off the Starbucks from the main part of the convention center. And I get it. It's so that people, because the Starbucks is going to get very crowded, is so people won't be snaking through and blocking the doors to the convention center, that sort of stuff. But it was raining, and so we had to go out into the rain, into the cold, go all the way around the corners of the building to get into the Starbucks. And then once we were done at the Starbucks, because it was blocked off, we then had to go back outside in the cold and the rain, and then go all the way around the building, which seemed like forever when you're having the rain pouring down on you and the wind, and there's no cover. If there was a cover, if there was a covered like overhang or something like that, fine. But there's no cover. And so you go all the way around the side of the building to get back in. You have to show your wristband and all that. And that was just, especially since at one point we had stuff that we really didn't want to get wet. But I like the fact that there's an area that has seating where you can, there's like food trucks there that you can order from and then just sit and eat outside. That's good when the weather's nice, but not when the weather's not nice. And you know what I mean? And then we decided on Saturday night to go to the, was it the cosplay, little, the masquerade. That's, sorry, my brain is from working. But we went to the masquerade, and then we stayed for the A and B portion, where we got to vote on the different videos and all that. And that was fun. But in order to get there, you have to go several blocks away from the convention center, cross some pretty busy streets, and just to get to this place. Which, it's just so very detached from where the convention center is. And I even felt bad for some of the voice actors, because some of these voice actors are pretty up there in age, and they had to, these poor guys, I hope they got shuttled over there and they didn't have to walk in the cold and the rain to get to this place to do their panels and all that. So, because from what I heard, some panels were held over there and then some were held upstairs. So it was a thing. But I don't know. I know no place is going to be perfect. But I don't know, security there was a lot of security presence. A lot. Which, again, I get. And personally, as one who has lived through a incident that involved someone stalking another guest and then setting fire to their car, which was a big whole catastrophe. If you don't know what I'm talking about, look up Anime Los Angeles Fire, and you'll see what I mean. Yeah, I was there. I stayed in some of the I stayed in some of the higher floors of that guest's hotel that they were staying at. So yeah, it was very, very scary. So to see the presence of all the police or the armed security, it was good. And I'm sure there were some close playing too. But I'm just glad everything went smooth, without a hitch. I got to see people I haven't seen in a very long time. And I felt welcomed back into that con. And I appreciate that. I cosplayed as, let's see if I can, I've cosplayed as, in my brain, as like a member of Stranger Things, of the Hellfire Club, but it's Rip Mika's version. And then I also cosplayed as Corpse, also known as Corpse Husband. Miss you, dude. But yeah, all in all, very fun. And let me show you some of the things that I got from that convention, and also my little program book. Hold on one second. So here is the booklet. Isn't that cute? These conventions always have such cute little artwork. And then it shows all of the digital art creators. Or digital art contest winners, that's what it was. And then it gives the days for the different programming. More programming. The live events. They had stuff like a K-pop dance workshop. They had K-pop Demon Hunter gathering. They had solo concerts with two people that cosplayed as Rumi and Mira. Then they had, of course, the Saja Boys. They had a room that had like random K-pop stuff in it with a DJ. They had like a live Huntrix concert, and it was just like super fun. And then they have maps of all the different areas. Yeah, just maps of everything. Maps of vendors hall, exhibitors list. And then in the very back, they have all the guests that attended. And so yeah. And now it's, let's see. So one of the first things I bought was in here. It's super cute. It's very my vibe. Little hatchet. This is perfect for my Chucky stuff. Here's her card. And then pause to read, but that's all her info. Okay. Next. Sorry. This was from This is something that my friend bought for me. And that was from the artist. Let me pull it up on my computer. I found it. So it's this is from glitchgear.com. They had a whole bunch of different shirts and everything. There's a couple shirts I wanted to get a family member that I saw that was really, really cool. So thank you to my friend who got me this one, because they know how much I like Boba Fett. And then, on the last day, they also got me this Sylveon pin, because, so, my 3 all-time favorite Pokemon is Mew, Sylveon, and Litten. So, yeah, I love those 3. And, yeah. Here's the other. Okay, so, let me preface this by saying that my dad's girlfriend bought me a Starbucks card. They're older, you know, she's older. Of course, my dad and her don't know what to get me, but they think, oh, coffee. So when they think coffee, they think Starbucks, because Starbucks is all over the place. So this is why they bought me the card. So, of course, I was able to get coffee at the convention, which we needed, because there was like really no other coffee places around. And yes, I had coffee beforehand, but sometimes you need a little something that's a little pick-me-up, and it was right there, okay? Like I said, do not judge. I did not use my own money. I used money that was already on a card that I needed to use up. And one of the other things I got is a California mug. See how pretty that is? But yeah, I'm having some coffee in it. But it's big enough it could be like a soup mug, you know? Very, very pretty. But yeah. That was my time and experience at SacAnime. For not going in 8 years, it was a pretty good, positive experience. I would want to go back. Like I said, I'm very low on funds, and so since I was just dipping my toe back into cosplay, I went very low-key and just real casual, and I still had a lot of fun, and I don't know, hopefully at some point because I don't want to keep relying on my friends to buy me tickets to these events, so hopefully at some point I will be able to attend more events. I don't know if it's going to be in the near future or if it's going to be a year from now or what, but yeah. I want to keep going. I had a lot of fun. And like I said, it was good to see a lot of people that I hadn't seen in a very long time. And it was good with my health issues that have gotten worse. It was good to know that I can now get help and accommodations for when I need them. Like I said, I brought my cane, my heart, and lung issues are, you know, something I have to be on the lookout for, as well as my pain stuff. But yeah, here's hoping I can attend more events. And again, for those of you who don't know, I have also gotten a VTuber model. I got one that was really inexpensive, and I've been using it on my main channel and my Twitch, and I really enjoy using it. And so I was not just because I was recovering from being sick, but also because now being a VTuber, I don't really want to show that much my face anymore, just because I still have a lot of dental work and all that I still need to take care of. And just, I'm still very subconscious about my face. Another reason I got into my face and just my appearance, which is another reason I got into VTubing, and I'm very comfortable being a VTuber. I will attend events, but it's going to be masked. And yeah, that's it. If I decide in the future to show my whole face for like future events or videos or streams or whatever, then that'll be my choice. But for right now, this is what I'm comfortable with. So, even a costume, I will be masked, just for my own safety. Just I mask at work too, just as there's a lot of people with my health going downhill, and now I am the caregiver of another person whose health is far worse. I just have to be careful for the both of us. So that's another reason I'm going to be masked up from now on. I know some people in the past have been like, "Ooh, why are you wearing a mask? You're in your own house." Because that's what I choose to do. That's it. All right. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little like rundown and let you know that I'm back. Kind of. I mean, I know this is just one event, but I want to start cosplaying again in the future. And I have, quite a few ideas. If I have the energy to do it, awesome. If I don't, then that's just what happens when you're chronically ill and are in a hobby such as this. But we shall see in its own time. But I just wanted to post again on this channel and say my experience with a con that I've been to for, that I've been to quite a few times. And now it's kind of like brand new. And it's like I am attending it and experiencing it for the first time. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. That's my voice bit. That's going to be all for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe, stay happy, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye.